Hello people, what's going on? Hi Slipper here, bringing you my new series, the countdown to Mass Effect 3. There are 15 days, can you believe it? Only 15 days left till this spectacular, soon-to-be Game of the Year comes out. I mean, I am super excited for it. Problem is, during the Christmas holiday sales on Steam, I ended up buying the first Mass Effect 2s on my PC, because I never got a chance to play the first one, so I never really touched it. And then I realized I wanted a save file to go off for Mass Effect 3. So now, this whole weekend, I've been playing Mass Effect 3 non-stop. As you can see, I'm pretty close to the end of the game here. So far, I'm about, how many hours am I in? I am 17 hours in, which means I am at pretty much the very, very last part. And there's a cutscene coming up here. I'm going to stop talking during that part. I'm just going to let you guys sit back and enjoy the epicness. Because the main thing I noticed between Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 1 is that it seems Mass Effect 2 is more action-driven, if you know what I mean. And Mass Effect 2 seems more story-driven. It seems like the Reapers and stuff. Mass Effect 2 is more of a character development. So I guess it's a 3-act. Then the Collectors are supposed to be the darkest part. I don't know. Mass Effect 3 seems like the darkest one in this series, which is I am super excited about that. But right now, I'm not going to talk about that. Sorry, I got off the topic. I am going to be talking about PC versus console, the myths and the facts. So I'll start off with a couple things. Now, one of them is that that first-person shooters are meant for a console. Sorry to tell you guys, but for those of you who don't know, that first-person shooter was kind of invented on PC, and no one really thought that it could be done on a console with the joysticks. No one thought it could be done until Halo came out. So Bungie was kind of the pioneers of the first-person shooter console market. So basically, any game after is a ripoff of Halo. Like what's the word I'm looking for? Any console-exclusive shooter is basically a copy off of Halo. Because had it not been for Halo, there would be no first-person shooter console games because they wouldn't figure it out. And that's where all the great games started. Battlefield and Call of Duty, they all started on the PC. So that right there is proof that first-person shooters are actually, I think they're a bit better because the mouse gives you a lot more accuracy. You can aim the mouse precisely where you want to go, whereas the console, you're limited to where the joystick can go. So there goes one myth. Now, one thing that is true is that PC gaming can be more expensive. But if you look at it in the long run, it can last you quite a ways longer. I mean, the PC industry is always moving forward. The console gamers are limited to the graphics. I mean, if you look at Battlefield 3, it's way lesser of a game than on PC because the consoles are 6 years old. 6 years, and Xbox is 7 because it came out a year earlier than the PS3. PS3 has a bit more processing power, but still, they are holding it back. If you look at the graphics, there's nothing. So the amount of content, it's not just about the graphics, it's the amount of content. The more content you can pack on with the better graphics, the better the game is going to be. And I've seen this with PC games. I don't think you could put Knights of the Old Republic or Battlefield 2 on PC, just simply because even though Battlefield 2 has worse graphics, it's simply the sheer size of it. You can't match it, and Skyrim gets mods for it. So in the long run, I guess PC gaming would pay off because it's always moving forward, whereas consoles just being held back. So it's cheaper, but you're being held back. So it's kind of your choice of what you want to do. Now, one myth that is actually not a myth is that console gaming has kind of, I don't know, impacted the PC gaming, because developers, think about it, if you're a businessman and you have 3 people you can sell your product to. Before, you were only selling to one person, but now these other 2 people have come in. Who are you going to want to sell it to? Are you going to want to sell to all 3? Or just 2 of them? Or just 1 of them? So that's a smart business move. But again, with the consoles not having a new one, it's holding the industry back. So basically, the developers have to make their games on a console and then port it over to PC, which is a problem because that makes the PC games, it doesn't maximize their full potential, which is very unfortunate because PC gaming has so much more potential than console. And that's a fact because, again, it's all about the hardware. It's 6 years old. I mean, it would be better, it would be a closer contest if there was a new console right now. I mean, if there was like a PS4 and Xbox 720, then yeah, it wouldn't be an issue. We wouldn't be limited. But at this point in time, we are limited. And that's just the way how consoles go. That's how console goes. Unless they come up with a console where you can update a graphics card. That's what I want to do with consoles. I want with the graphics card. Then you're not really gonna get. Then you're always gonna be behind the pack, unless you're in the first year or two of your console. But that's when there's not really any good games for it. So that's the major problem. Now, so that's that. Now what does console have on PC that PC doesn't have? Because I mean, it seems like PC is the ultimate game platform. I'll give you this: simplicity. PC is a lot more simple. It's just, it's. Oh, sorry, I talked over that cutscene. Oops. I didn't see it. Anyway, PC is a lot more simple than the console. I mean, if you look at it. I mean, console's a lot more simple than PC. Think about it. You got a PC, which you have multiple components. You have your CPU, you have your graphics card, you have your RAM, you have your hard drive, and if you're building your own PC, it can take a lot more work. But if you're a console, you go to the store, buy the console, bring it home, plug it in, and you're good to play. PC, you buy the PC, you select what parts you want for the PC. You have to make sure your PC can run on the game. So, because each PC game on the box, it has the system requirements. For example, I don't have any new games in my, because I buy all my games digitally. Actually, wait, no, I have the Old Republic this version, because I didn't want to go through Origin. Anyway, it says the system requirements on here. And most of the time, with the higher end games, because this Old Republic, anyone can run. But with the higher end games, everyone needs to know if their PC can run it, because if your PC can't run it, well, you just wasted your money. Or you have to buy a new graphics card. So that's the main thing. Console's a lot easier. You buy the game, you go home, you put it in, you play. No worries about if it's going to work, how the installing, stuff like that. PC is a bit more advanced. But in the end, I personally feel that it is worth it. I mean, look at Mass Effect right here. It's running at 60 frames. Console, it only runs at 30 frames. Sorry, that's a fact. That most games, if you got a benchmark tester, it would all be on 60 frames a second. And that's the unfortunate part about consoles. I mean, Call of Duty, I'll give them credit. I think it's one of the only games to run on 60 frames a second. I think Infamous on PS3 runs at like 40 frames, because sometimes they'll run really smooth, sometimes they'll just run at 30. I don't know. But most of the time, all the games are on 30. I mean, even Halo, Skyrim, all on console, they're all 30 frames. On PC, they're all 60 frames. And I own every single system. I own a Wii, I own a PC, a gaming PC, custom built. I own a PS3 and an Xbox, so I know I know the differences. I own some games on multiple platforms. I have Battlefield 3 on all 3 systems, and there's a major difference between them. I also have Call of Duty on both systems, and there's not much of a difference, but there's still a slight difference. Other multi-platform games, like what other games do I have on here? Like Mass Effect 2, I have that on my Xbox. I used to have it on my PS3, and I have it on my PC, and there's a difference. I like the PC version a bit better. I mean, you don't have to pause the game to use your powers. You can just hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever button you need. So I think that's the main thing with console, is it's a lot more accessible. But like I said, the PC in the end. Oh, epic cutscene. Hold on. This is really epic. This is awesome. No, don't do it. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm supposed to stop a bunch of these things in Mass Effect 3. I'm still trying to figure that. I found that really neat. For those of you who don't know, the Citadel is just one mass relay that the Reapers can come through. I found that really cool. Kind of looks like a spider, like a scorpion. I mean, look, there's a head and then there's a little tail. And then there's me in an elevator. Uh-oh, it stopped.
Sarah's blocked the elevator. Suit up, we're going outside.
This part was awesome, where he just puts on his mask and it's like, where you, and then you go like zero gravity, where you walk down a wall. That's what this whole part is. It's walking down a wall. Well, anyway, I'm done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and favorite if you feel it deserves so. And that's all I have to say. Look tomorrow for tomorrow's video, Countdown to Mass Effect 3, Day 14. So, see ya.